our 2023 president of the Will County Threshermen's Association, Brad Ike, with a Minneapolis 670. It is a gas-powered vehicle. He's from over by Plainfield. And the people mover that he's pulling, we have the king and the queen of the Will County Threshermen's Association, Ron and Sue Shuby, our king and queen. Of course, Ron's been around forever, and he does a lot of work here, and I'm sure Sue does too. They've got a lot of David Bradley exhibits up there, so make sure you stop in and see him. He's usually here about 5:30 in the morning, and he was still here when I left at dark last night, so we're glad to have him around here. Okay, I've got Ron Rivelin from Serena, Illinois, with a G1000 propane. I always loved those tractors. When I was a little boy, I used to drive one of those, but it was a diesel power. That's been a long time ago, too. Now we've got a white. That's a relative of the Minneapolis Moline Group. This looks like a G1050. Of course, this is a diesel-powered one. Okay, we got Jerry Inger from Serena, Illinois. A G10. It's the red and white one. The other ones were yellow and white. Now we got another Minneapolis. It's an M5. It's a gas burner. It belongs to Dan Hansen. We go by Morse. It's a 1960 model. Did everybody over there hear me okay? On the west side, okay? I'm trying to crank it up and talk loud. We got a 1066. It's a 1974 model, Timothy Stunkel, in memory of Tim Stunkel. And you're the grandson? Your neighbor, okay. I remember that from yesterday. Okay. A 1066. Oh, it's from the Scott Detmering farm. I thought I recognized you. Another Alice Chalmers. A little bit smaller. Looks like a WD. 1951. Owned by Dylan Leatherby from Manhattan, Illinois. Got a case tractor coming up. Looks like a 700. Alistair Store from Grant Park, 1959, 700. While we're talking about case, the Pontiac Threshermen show is coming up Labor Day weekend. We're featuring J.I. Case. So if you need to see a bunch of cases, Labor Day weekend. We got a 504. Tag's on the wrong side, but that's okay. Colin Boudreau from Grant Park. It's an International 504. Little compact utility type tractor in the day. A Minneapolis Moline, model GB. Andrew Stratton from Wilmington, Illinois, with a 8-foot disc behind him with a hydraulic lift. This is sort of a leftover tractor. They put a bunch of parts together and made a tractor. It's a Minneapolis UTS. Andrew Stanton from Wilmington, Illinois. It was one of their export tractors. It's got a very oddball American Bosch pump on it. I got a Ford tractor. Weston Boudreaux from Grant Park, Illinois. It's a 900 Ford on propane. We got a lot of nice tractors up here in this exhibit. I like seeing them coming this way. A Minneapolis Moline. It is a Model GB Max. Rickstadt. It's on propane too. Okay, we got another Minneapolis BF. Oh, we got Liam from the Gausch farm. He's driving a Minneapolis BF. Minneapolis. Now we got a farm all. Dan Fritsch. It's a 1950 Model M. Pulling a wagon. Don't remember the brand of that. It's an international wagon. It's probably been hauling some wheat around here this weekend. 1937 Minneapolis Moline C, owned by Jim Quigley. Just moved by Wilmington, Simerton. Okay. Got your 2-bottom plow with a trip lift on it. Got a Ford with a hydraulic lift loader, 1947 Model 8N. It is owned by current owners Louis Mundrum from Wilmington and his granddaughters, with a 1-bottom plow hooked on it, on the 3-point. You know, that was better than a shovel or a pitchfork. Those loaders, they looked kind of odd, but back in the day they were very, very good. I got a 1938 John Deere B, owned by Pat Quigley from Simerton, Illinois. He's got the umbrella to keep the shade on. Okay, we got Emily behind him. Must be his wife or girlfriend, a friend, cousin, nephew, aunt, uncle. Emily is driving a 1972 1066 International. It's owned by Pat Quigley. Those were a nice tractor. There was a lot of them made in their day. Now I got Jamie Quigley with a 1951 model John Deere G. Are you from Simerton too? Got a lot of tractors here, don't you? Followed up, we got Craig Long from Limestone, Illinois. It looks like a John Deere. A 49 John Deere D. By Craig Long from Limestone. He's got some nice tractors too. Now we got David Bettenhauser from Piatone with a 1944 John Deere Model A. Right on next is Oliver. Larry Duda from, I think, Mantino. It's a 2150. It has a Hercules engine, American Bosch pump, front wheel assist. Larry put this tractor together. He put a lot of time, a lot of love into that tractor. Up next we have at Farm Mall 560. Jack Tepper from Okina, Illinois. It's a 1964 560 horsepower. I think he pulls this tractor too. Now we got Bob Hammerding with a 1948 John Deere Model M. If you don't know Bob, he's the one that put all those kids games, kids activities together in the kids tent over there. He built the barrel train. somebody's got to blame somebody, so Bob did it. Okay, we got Paul Kuhlman from Manteno, Illinois, with a John Deere Model A 1949. Our next runner-up, she's been a marker here every year. Brenda Shuby from Altona, Illinois, with a David Bradley walk-behind 1947 with a hauling cart. I think Brenda's had that tractor here every year that I can remember. I'm getting old. Got Al Keats from McLeansboro with a 1948 David Bradley with a walk-behind with a cart and an umbrella. Everybody needs an umbrella this time. Al Heatherwick from Piatone, Illinois, with a 1967 Alice Chalmers D21 Series 3 turbocharged. Al was our president last year and a few years before that. He said it's time to move on. So that's why Brad is our president. Okay, we got big stuff coming now. And it's noisy, so you may not be able to hear me. Most of these are some of the George Schaff collection. This one looks like it belongs to Joe Fisher. It's a big 4-20. It's an EB. Our next one is driven by Brian Kessel. It's a Case, 1923. It's a 4072. It's from the George Schaff collection. Now, George brings a lot of big tractors here, and we're just grateful that he does. Okay, we got an Avery in 1920. It's a 4080. I believe this was one of the George Schaff tractors. We have the Gauss farm coming up here. Now we have Floyd Hatton from Wilmington with a 1950 farm outland with a 9 I heard them go really good. I got one just like it. As soon as this tractor parade is over, at 2 o'clock, they're going to resume with the tractor pulls with the higher weight class. We did the first 3 this morning. Now we have a 1955 model GB Minneapolis Moline with an Elwood front-wheel drive. Belongs to Ken Lambert from Yorkville, Illinois. Those front-wheel drives were put on a lot of tractors. This is not far from where I live. They were impressive. Now they're standard issue on most of the new tractors. Got a Minneapolis Moline, model 3570. Belongs to Joe Fisher. And up next is a Twin City. It's a 2744 model. It's a 1928. It's a year. It's one of George Shaft's tractors. From the Shaft tractor collection. Ford 5000. It's a diesel powered tractor. Big tractor of George Shaft collection. It's a half scale. It's a half scale of a Steiger. It's built in 2021. The Gauss Farm from Buckingham, Illinois, with a case 2545. They got some nice tractors over there too. From Hershey, Illinois, with a case 1945 model LA. Farmall model H, R. Bettenhausen from Manteno, Illinois. That's a nice name on that one. You must do tractor rides because it's got the spare seat on the back. Litterby from Manhattan with a 1967 Minneapolis 110 garden tractor. And now we have our king of the show, Mr. Ron Shibby, with a David Bradley Tri-Track 1957. He's from Peatone, and I said he does a lot of work here for this show to put it on, help it go. With that, I don't see no more tractors coming down the road, so I'm going to call this a conclusion of the parade for today. At 2 o'clock, they're going to start the tractor pull again, so if you want to stick around, they'll be here. Otherwise, there's food, there's flea market vendors, there's exhibits, there's kiddie activities, there's a petting zoo, and there's shade over there. So make sure you stop and see everything, and again, I want to thank everyone for being here. At 2 o'clock, we're going to kick the tractor pull off again with the next class. So at that, I'm going to turn this back over to Art, and when they get lined up, there'll be a tractor pull coming on here. Can everyone have a very safe day? It's been a beautiful weekend, and thank you everyone for being here.